What is a Trinitarian? Let me look in my textbook here. It says a Trinitarian, relating to belief in the doctrine of the Trinity, a person who believes in the doctrine of the Trinity. Or, as our friends over at Lutheran Satire would say,
the Trinity is a mystery which cannot be comprehended by human reason, but is understood only through faith, and is best confessed in the words of the Athanasian Creed, which states that we worship one God in Trinity, and Trinity in unity, neither confusing the persons nor dividing the substance, that we are compelled by the Christian truth to confess that each distinct person is God and Lord, and that the deity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is one, equal in glory, co-equal in majesty.
But I think this is more than just theology. You see, we worship a God who exists in relationship. And if God exists in relationship, then we are called to live in relationship too. And we know that right now, this is a time when we're maybe supposed to be physically distanced, and maybe it's harder to be with each other, to be in relationship. But what if we flipped that script a little bit? What if we used this time as an opportunity to get to know each other a little more? Well, that's what we're doing with this. We're calling this Better Know a Trinitarian. It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other a little bit more, to maybe understand a little bit more about our ministry and what it is that we do together. So this week, we're going to start off with a Trinitarian with no personality at all, Tim DeBord. Tim, thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful to have you here with us today. We're going to start things off with playing Two Truths and a Lie. So why don't you give me your two truths and a lie, and we'll see what we come up with.
All right, two truths and a lie. Here we go. Number one, in no particular order.
All right.
I have traveled to the Soviet Union.
Ooh. Okay.
Number two, I have scaled Mount Kilimanjaro.
Whoa. Okay.
And number three, I once got 2 speeding tickets in a 3-hour window going to the wrong wedding. So 2 of those are true. 1 of those is a lie.
Oh, you went with, yeah. Wow. That is,
So up to you to decide.
That is, those are really fantastic. You've led quite the interesting life, Mr. Tim. I am going to go with the, if you're anything like me, I'm going to go with one of the truths is a speeding ticket. And I am going to say that you also visited the Soviet Union.
Nicely done. Those 2 are correct. Those are the 2 truths. I've never been on Mount Kilimanjaro.
Well, you have to tell us a little bit about the speeding ticket. How did you get 2 speeding tickets in a 3-hour window going to the wrong wedding?
Right. So this was, goodness. I was 18 or 19, a lot of years ago. I'm 50 now, so what is that, 31 years ago? So was late to a friend's wedding, or friends of the family's wedding, and so I was speeding to get there in time. Got stopped for speeding on this stretch of road in Applewood down in Golden there, and got a ticket. Got a 2-point ticket for exceeding the speed limit because I was going to be late to the wedding. Got the ticket, signed the ticket, sped back off to the church. Got to the church, signed the guest book, put my gift down, ran into the ceremony, and sat on the groom's side, who was the family friend. About 10 minutes into the wedding, I didn't recognize anybody around me. Looked up, didn't really recognize the bride or the groom, so I had sped to the incorrect wedding. So left the wedding, had to excuse myself. And this was back when I was certainly gauche. I crossed my name off of the guest book list, grabbed our gift, left the church. Was speeding to the correct church and got nailed in the same stretch of road again within about an hour or so.
Oh my God, was it the same cop?
No, different cop, but I showed him the ticket I just got. And so he gave me another one and said clearly I did not learn my lesson. And so at the end of the day, it was an expensive day. I did get to the correct wedding late, and it was certainly funny now. Then it was sort of embarrassing. but yeah, so things like that happen. But yeah, but I'm a good driver now.
We learn our lessons in our younger days of driving, don't we?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Tim. Tell us a little more. I know you're there at the Tilted Barrel right now. Tell us a little more about the pub. How did things get started there?
So we actually had some. My cousin and his wife liked making beer, and they made good beer. We had been drinking it at family gatherings for about a decade, and about 3 years ago or so, they wanted to open up a brewery. And so we joked about it. We talked about it. We said, you know what, come on out and do it. They could make beer, but then we had access to attorneys and accountants and contacts here that could help us get started. Yeah. So we bought the Tilted Barrel in January of 2018, really just to get the brewery started. And as it turns out, they definitely wanted more of the brewery and not the restaurant. And so we parted ways, bought them out. And so then my wife and I were left with the Tilted Barrel, and we were like, well, wasn't exactly in our plans, but like any good business people, you take a look at the money you've invested in the time, and you go, well, we absolutely have to make it work. And so here we are almost 2.5 years later, and things are going really well, or things were on a great trend. And then March 17th happened, where we were shut down, except for a takeout and delivery. And so for the last 8 weeks, we've been doing different things, takeout and delivery. And I got to be honest, the community as a whole has been great, but the Trinity community has been just fantastic. It's nice to see people that we miss seeing on Sundays and Wednesday nights. And so it's been great. And we are going to be one of the lucky ones that survives that through community and SBA stuff. And so as we start to slowly open up, maybe this summer, we're supposed to hear on Monday, the 25th of May, about easing restrictions to let us at least serve on the patio, people for dine-in, maintaining social distancing. So people know a lot about the restaurant business and certainly the bar business. You meet so many great people, and it really has.
That's fantastic. And I know that you've, certainly had, obviously you've got some of your own family that, that's working there. I know you've employed,
sure.
Some folks from Trinity too. And it's great. Such a great restaurant. We love to support it, whenever we can too. So
absolutely. Thank you.
Given your mustache and masculine figure, have you ever been confused for Tom Selleck in an airport before?
No, I haven't. People have called me Tom Selleck jokingly, but have never been mistaken for him. He is fantastic. I do like him, but yeah, I've never been, not in any sort of real sense. Looking for the first time that happens. So if anybody at the church says, "Hey, you look just like Tom Selleck," that would be fantastic. But yeah.
You bet. We'll try to encourage that, the best way we can. Okay, let's pretend it's the year 1989. What were you doing in 1989? What were you up to? Certainly not 1889.
Right, it was 1889. I wasn't around yet, but in 1989, so I had just graduated from high school in 88, was in my freshman year at college out at UC San Diego.
Okay.
Wanted to go where it was warm, having grown up in Colorado my whole life. So UC San Diego's in La Jolla, and was on the rowing team as a freshman because it was a Division III school, didn't have any big sports that I could play. Football I loved, but I wasn't very good at. So my dream as a kid was to play at Notre Dame, and that didn't happen. So went to UC San Diego on the rowing team, met a whole bunch of new people, enjoyed Southern California. Just a great time in my life. I was at that time where I didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities and worries, and enjoyed the beach in Southern California.
Oh, I love it. That's great. That is great. When we think about the future, knowing that it's a little bit uncertain right now, what are you excited about for the future at Trinity?
Well, I'm a couple of things, actually. I'm excited that Trinity is still on an uphill trend, growing in numbers, and continuing to bring in new people into the church. as I've grown older, the concern was at some point, the churches end up going away, or does everybody go to a big box church? And I've now seen at 50 years of age that no, I mean, those of us that have grown up in a certain religion will continue to do that and bring in new people who we just want to share what we do with, right, and serve the community. So I'm impressed that the church continues to grow, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the churches also adapting and evolving as necessary to survive in the changing conditions. With COVID, your services online, but also the technology that we're willing to embrace, and the policies and the updates as far as men and women in their roles in the church and all of that stuff, that we continue to thrive because we continue to see, hey, there are better ways to do things, right? We're not stuck in doing something that we've done for 600 years. I mean, certainly the tradition and the rituals and all of that stuff I love as well, but at least we're a sort of a church that wants to grow with the future and be around for the next 600 years.
Absolutely.
That answers your question, but that's where I'm headed.
Yeah. I think that that's such an important thing, that there are a lot of lessons that we're learning right now at this time, both technology-wise, community-wise, and, hopefully when this whole thing's over, we will still, take the things we've learned, those lessons that we've learned, and use those to help our ministry continue on in the future, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, what's your favorite hymn, and why does that hymn speak to you?
No question. Well, I don't remember what it is in the new book, the red book, but in the green book, it's 558, and it's Earth and All Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Has been my favorite hymn since the 70s. And I can tell you, it just brings so much joy and a smile on my face. And as a kid in youth services, whenever we got to pick the hymns, we always brought that one in. The melody, the words, to have the entire congregation sing it. It just brings so many positive feelings and memories from when I was a kid to present day. It's not even close. I know it's probably not super well known, and I know it's probably not the most religious of hymns, but boy, is it fantastic. Love it, hands down.
Oh, I love that hymn too, and I know that that Marcia, that's one of her favorite hymns too. And what's cool about that hymn, it was written for the dedication of a school, and so it's talking about all the different aspects that are happening at the school. So you get loud bands and boiling test tubes and all this stuff that talk about just kind of some other stuff in life than we typically talk about in worship. And I love that all of those things are claimed by God. It's a great hymn that way. I love it.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, hey, last question before we let you get back at things, Tim. How would you define a Trinitarian?
A Trinitarian. Well, I've been thinking, what is a Trinitarian? And so to me, a Trinitarian is someone who cares about their community and serves others graciously, right? That's what makes us, in my opinion, unique. I mean, other people say they do things, and I don't want to take that away from them, but at our church, we do our best to help the church itself, but also the community around it, right? We've taken from a myopic view of just helping church members to what is even in our immediate sphere of influence, if you will. A Lincoln Elementary, House of Neighborly Service in 137, and the broader things that we do, the Lunch Pack for Kids program, and it's someone who cares about the church, but also the community at whole, and acts on it. That's the difference, right? It's not just lip service, it's action, and you can see that whenever the church asks for volunteers, people show up in a big way. Whenever there's an expense that happens, people show up in a big way. So it's somebody who cares so much, but they also act on that and bring that whole thing together, right? It's not just, again, hey, I say I believe in this, or I want to help people. I'm actually helping people. So it's somebody who makes a difference in their community and also spreads the good news of Jesus, right? I mean, that's the whole package. To me, that's what a Trinitarian is.
Oh, I love it, Tim. Thank you so much. I will pay you your $5 for making a great answer on that question. Well done.
Excellent.
I love it. Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here as a part of it, and we will see you next time we get an opportunity to order up a burger and fries, and some of the fried pickles are our favorites, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Tim, thank you for everything. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you again so much, Tim, for taking your time with us today. And thank you for joining us and for watching. And we hope you'll join us again next time as we better know a Trinitarian. See you soon.